The St Kilda railway line was opened in 1857 by the Melbourne and Hobson Bay Railway Company. When it first opened, trains ran direct from Melbourne Terminus, a station on the side of Flinders Street, express to St Kilda with no stations in between. When Flinders Street grew, St Kilda trains would depart from platform 11, which is now the Arbory Bar and Eatery. 3 stations were added, but the line closed in August of 1987 when the line was converted to a light rail on Route 96.
Today, the stretch of track that was the St Kilda line has 7 stops, with City Road, Fraser Street and MSAC being added. And now, let's head to Sandridge Bridge, the beginning of the line.
First built in 1853, the Sandridge Bridge served the Port Melbourne line, and when the St Kilda line was built,
it was replaced by a 2-track timber trestle bridge. The current bridge was built in 1888 and is constructed from steel girders, bluestone and brick buttresses. I hope I said that right. In 1987, when the St Kilda and Port Melbourne lines were converted to Skyrail, there were plans to extend the tram line over the Sandridge Bridge, but that didn't occur and the bridge soon fell into disuse. The bridge was finally refurbished in 2005 by well-known sculptor Nadim Karam. The work's main feature is an exhibition of 10 abstract sculptures and 128 glass panels. Each glass panel represents a country of immigrants that came from Station Pier on the Port Melbourne line over the Sandridge Bridge. The 178 metre bridge is beautiful, but we must move on. Before we move on, we are at the junction of the St Kilda and Port Melbourne lines. Port Melbourne line heading to the right, and then St Kilda line where we're going is to the left. Over on this side, the line used to continue straight onto Flinders Street, but now turns left over to Southern Cross. Our first station opened on the 18th of September in 1858 and was the first station added to the line. The station was originally named Emerald Hill, home to the iconic Canvas Town, which was the home of early gold settlers. It was renamed South Melbourne in 1884 and serves the South Melbourne Market, which began operation in 1867. The station buildings on the up platform have been converted to a childcare centre. And now we move to our second station, Albert Park. Albert Park Station opened on the 27th of November in 1860 and serves much of Albert Park, including Lakeside Stadium, which was originally the home of South Melbourne Football Club. The station was first named Butts due to the area having a 7-acre firing range and was renamed Albert Park in 1872. This platform right here, the up platform, now serves as a cafe and a VR antiquities museum. Thank you very much, Albert Park. The next station is Middle Park. Middle Park opened on the 2nd of July in 1883 and was the last station on the line to open. The stop now serves the Melbourne Grand Prix, one of the biggest annual events in Australia. The train platforms have since been demolished to make way for the tram platforms, and in 2019 the station building was rebuilt as it was demolished by a fire in 2018. Apart from all the graffiti, this stop is very beautiful. And finally, we move to St Kilda.
St Kilda Station opened on the 13th of May in 1857 and I'm pretty sure has the oldest station building in Victoria. Fact check me on that though. The station building is of Italian design and now serves as retail shops. It's the only station on the line that only had one platform, and in the 1920s it was the second busiest station in Melbourne behind Flinders Street. In 1906, Victorian Rails built a broad gauge tram to Brighton. It was built to maintain passenger levels, and a weird thing about the line was trams on the broad gauge line would run along the St Kilda line to the depot in Newport. Now for potentially the most interesting part of the line, the Windsor Loop line. So I've moved 200 metres away from St Kilda Station and come to the point, or rough point, on a map here to show where the Windsor Loop line came away from the St Kilda line. So trains would terminate at St Kilda before backing out onto the loop line at here, going over the Albert Park swamplands to Windsor and onto Brighton on the Sandringham line. When tracks got extended from the city to South Yarra and then onto Windsor, the loop line fell quickly into disuse and was dismantled in 1867. And there we are, the St Kilda line. Time for an outro. Thank you guys for watching another video. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and as always, let me know down below of any video suggestions or feedback. Now, there is potential for a 1000 sub special Q&A video, and if you want to drop a question, there is a link down below. This has been the Trainman, and until next time, goodbye.